Good morning. I'm at a bus station, so that means inherent distractions, but some things that were mulling around in my mind because this is sort of what happens when I wake up in the morning, right? I'm always talking to her. And I was looking at a video yesterday called The Inception, right? The inception of the spiral, the source from which everything comes. So I began thinking to myself that how did I end up in a place that we call a distorted energy field, right? And I thought, I remember when I was a child, where I thought to myself, I'm sort of locked into a system that's always telling me how I'm supposed to live, what I'm supposed to think, how I'm supposed to dress, how I'm supposed to do everything. And it's like, what's the matter with these people? They got it in reverse. I thought to myself, imagine that I'm 7 years of age, because this is actually true, okay? Where your parents begin to, where I'm 7 years of age and I tell my mom and dad, listen, I'm out of here. What? No, you got to go to school. Listen, I already got all the information that I need. I already got everything that I have. I don't think you realize. The girl's magnet and the planet, man, bam, I'm connected with her. I got a communication relationship in spirit with the girl on the planet, the girl that provides all the energy. What? Yeah. I can also communicate with everything that's in nature. I can communicate with the birds, the dolphins, everything that's out there. And if I need anything, they'll help me. Because we live in love and service to others, so everything that is there that is in nature, we all communicate with each other. See, so I already got everything that I need. I don't need anything from them, Mama. I don't need their schools. I don't need their food systems. I don't need their political systems. I don't even need their money. I got all the energy that I need. I don't think you people understand. Listen, I came from someplace else, and where we're from, okay, I had to figure it out. How am I going to do this? If I'm going to go down to a lower evolved, if you will, classroom, and somebody says, well, listen, we're going to have to give you a suit to jump into. Okay, well, give me a suit to jump into. That's cool. And you're going to have a relationship with a goddess and a planet ship. And when you get there, understand this. Things are very different there. You have things that want to hold you captive. Things that are always trying to control you. They're always trying to tell you how you're supposed to live your life. This is going to be very challenging for you, because this means you got to be able to maintain your energy. And we realize that you know how to do that, okay? And that's the challenge. How is it that you can maintain everything that you know that you have, because you realize that you're already a self-sustaining energy service provider, which means you're already providing all the energy you need for yourself. So for these people to be able to understand how to do that is very foreign to them, because they never learned how to do it. That's the purpose of the classroom, okay? So this is going to be very challenging for you in your ability to navigate through an environment that's always wanting to hold your mind captive. Yeah, no kidding. These are vampires, okay? These are units that somehow have not learned how to live in peace, okay, where they're always needing something from you. They're always wanting something from you, okay? That's the challenge. Well, heck, I'll just hang out with a girl on the planet. I'll just hang out in nature. So at 7 years of age, I tell my mom, listen, I'm leaving. I don't want to hang out with those people. They're going in the wrong direction. Instead of attracting more light, these folks are going in reverse. They're losing light. That's not what I am. I learned how to do that forever. I'm a source unit. So I'm out of here. No, you can't do this. Mom, I'll be okay. Everything will be okay. I'll be in communication with you, okay? But I'm going to hang out in nature, okay, where everything is alive. All the living energies, okay? Water, spirit in the water, okay? The spirit in the sky, the elementals, okay? The spirit in the earth, the spirit of fire, okay? I communicate with all those spirits. Everything's going to be just fine, okay? You stay in contact with me, little boy. I'm out of here. So I head out into the forest. I'm at home. That's how it works. How many people do we know that have a relationship with a girl on the planet? See, everything is fear-based. Oh my God, without them, I just cannot survive. I need their big box stores. I need their political system. I need a military to protect me. Man. So when Patty Broussard told me this is lower evolution, lower creation, I thought, yeah, it is. How'd I end up in a place like this? if you already learned how to be a self-sustaining battery system, provide your own energy, because I'll share something with you that happened yesterday that I realized, and this is cool. I was charging my own phone up. I didn't need a plug-in. That's a good sign, by the way. So this is why I never had any use for the military. I never had any use for guns. I never had any use for the things that they put all their energy into that says, I gotta defend myself against a predator and all that. So I realized when I was a child, I don't give that kind of stuff any energy. That's not real to me. That's an illusion. Okay? And what makes an illusion? Because that's not my home. The energy that I use to be what it is that I am, that I create, here's an example. Because this is what I thought. You want to prove this to yourself? Go get yourself a spiral binder. And go out someplace where it's just you and nature for a day. And then just start thinking about your imagination, the world you'd want to live in. One that you would create. And then just let your imagination flow and start writing it. Just start writing it. As if you don't have a care in the world. You're not thinking about, focus on the story. Your creative, conscious mind. Don't use any memory. Just write the story. And you'll know when you're done with the story. You'll know exactly when you're done with the story. And you'll go back and look at that and go, wow, I was not held captive. I was not aware of anything else other than the story that I was writing, which was using my conscious creative mind. Your mind wasn't held captive, was it? Nope. You began to realize that you can live in whatever reality your mind wants to live in living spirit, because you're the one that did it. We're the creator beings in the cosmos, the inception, from which it all comes. It's like telling Source, guess what? You're not allowed to be able to think whatever you want. You can't create your own reality. You can't choose to do whatever you want. You're held captive by us. Imagine you're going to tell the source from which all creation comes that it's got to do that. It would laugh you from here to the cows come home. Because I'm not ever going to run out of any energy. And when you know that and you believe that, because you are what love is in living spirit, it's like, please do not insult my intelligence. So that's what they do. That's what happens when you come in here. So you have to find a way to maintain your state of peace, your harmony, and your balance when you realize you're hanging out with beings that aren't there yet. And the biggest challenge is that they don't want to learn. You try and find a conduit which you can somehow enlighten, which means increase the speed of the electrons a little bit. Get that bulb up a little brighter. See if they're willing to be receptive to say, hey, what did you say? How does that work? And then if they take an interest in it, wow, hey, I just learned something. So one of the things that they had to do was to shut that down. And how do they do that? That's real simple. Once you've gone into their system that says this is what you've got to do going into our public school system or any private school that they happen to run, where they're going to fill your unconscious memory with information, and then you run on that because then you believe this is the reality that I live in that I don't have any control over, and you become an energy slave. And what does that do? You're losing light. You're giving your energy away to something that's moving in reverse. So people aren't even aware that they're going in reverse because that's called reverse programming. Because that's what they are. They run in reverse. So they get people to mimic who they are, which is a parasite. So one of the things that I measured over a time frame, space, right? Okay, the events that happen on an event horizon space, you can see that they were breeding, what I call breeding, like breeding in a petri dish. The petri dish was their school system and their mass media. Because they didn't know the difference between what love is and what fear is. To be in fear of losing energy. So I've got to get a job and I've got to accumulate the energy that they're providing through money and their political system. So when you measure at the end of the day, if you're 50 or 60 years of age, we can go back and look at your timeline and your DNA and see how much energy you were giving away, which means you're getting more of what you are back. So that's a measurement. That's a measurement in a classroom of students that learn how energy works. which means a 7-year-old could say, listen, Mom, I already learned how energy works. I got a communication system to communicate with everything in nature. I'm fine. I learned all I needed to learn in order for me to be able to be a self-sustaining unit. You're only 7 years of age. That's the point. They wanted to extend childhood. See what I'm saying? They wanted to control population. How'd they do that? The marriage institution. They didn't want you going around breeding rabbits, okay? Like the birds and the bees do in nature. Everything that they did lies with two factors, okay? Self-indulgence, okay? And perversion of nature. So that's why they did everything that they did to nature, to kill it all off. All you have to do is measure the data. Okay, look at the ozone. Look what the nuclear cabal did to the ozone. Look at the ocean. Look how many species we're losing every day. Look at the contamination in the soil. Look how much radiation we have on the planet. That's a measurement. That's a measurement of all the students that are here that are in this classroom that learn how to be a self-sustaining unit. Remember I mentioned before the input side, the output side? Information in, information out. Metadata in, metadata out. Toxic in, toxic out. You put the junk in, you'll kick the junk out. Instead of purity in and purity out, which means now that you're living in purity. The purity of the water, the purity of the soil, the purity of everything. They didn't want anybody to learn how to do that. So instead, everybody experiences a toxic zone, what I call a hazmat zone. The data's all there. That's what I spent most of my life doing. Was I couldn't figure out how they were programming everybody to essentially self-terminate themselves, which is their species. How were they doing that? Their timeline's going to collapse on them. Because if they can't be what love is, which means they love the universe that they live in, which means they love the energy that they're running on because they learned how to track more of what that is, if they're not learning how to do that, their timeline is automatically going to collapse. It also means they don't graduate up the tree. So since class has been dismissed in 2013 and some work had to get done, this is all after school stuff. So now that events are accelerating at a high rate of speed, that essentially means that the timelines are separating. One that goes on forever and one that's going to collapse because there simply won't be enough energy to sustain it. Because there are just too many people on this planet that woke up and realized how it works. They're done being in a state of fear of something that's trying to control them. Okay? That's not free will. That's a violation of free will, and it's a violation of love is the law. And on this planet, love is the law. That means when you are that frequency, you're running at a high speed. That's energy that feels good. So that's what it means. You manage to learn how to master your energy field. So anyway, I'll leave you with that to think about for the day, or whether you want to think about it at all. Because I don't try and capture somebody else's timeline, capture somebody else's mind to get them to think what it is that I think, because I'm always thinking about all kinds of things and I create my own reality. I don't allow anything to capture my consciousness and then use it for it, which means they're using my energy because they can't sustain their own. So it's always about choices, the choices that we make and what we've learned while we're down here. And that becomes another measure. So anyway, have a great day. I love you all. We're headed in the right direction.